everyone, welcome to the channel for a new battle report. So this is game number 2 of Bellum Lacum 8. I was facing basically my teammates from Team ETC Switzerland. We have Dimitri, Xavier, Andy and Aurel, all of them together. And basically this matchup I was paired against Dimitri, who was playing Warrior of the Dark God. You know already my list, this was his list. So pretty straightforward. We have double Exalted Herald, we have 2 Barbarian that go inside a unit of 38 Barbarian, we have 2-time Horsemen that can be scoring or chaff, and then we have 2 Hammer unit, Chosen Great Weapon slot, and Warrior Knight with Banner of Speed. And all of that basically combined with the Helmo to try to teleport on the battlefield in some interesting spot. Worth mentioning in this list is the amazing range damage potential, because he has 2-time Icon of the Infinite and also the ability to get Hereditary on Exalted Herald together with, for example, Veil Walker, Gravecall. So that can be a very dangerous magic phase. Something that surprised me a bit was the fact that now Icon of the Infinite has been under version 3.0 simplified, so you don't get with the new Hereditary. Basically they didn't put anymore the small version, big version, meaning the bound spell is giving you 2d6 strength 6 AP 0. That's amazing for a bound spell that you can put in a core unit or on a character like that. Wow, that's really strong. I was surprised of that because in my opinion 9th Age did a job which was with version 3.0 reducing like the variance, basically the range output is a bit more streamlined, I could say. You don't have anymore those extreme, and I felt here in his magical setup he can have 2d6 strength 5 reroll to wound, 2d6 strength 6 reroll to wound, 2d6 strength 6 and 2d6 strength 6. So that's a lot of high strengths, high number of potential hits, damage. In the new version I think Veil Walker on the Exalted Herald is not possible anymore, but still Icon of the Infinite as a bound spell 2d6 strength 6 feel to me a bit overpowered. Feel like something maybe the people of the staff missed out, because seems a bit too powerful for just a bound spell that you can get multiple times in the army list and gets quite easy to cast. Anyway, let's move on to the battle report. We play one primary objective that I don't like, which is Hidden Agenda. I think the rest of them are fine. I don't like too much the Spoil of War because it can lead to refuse game, but Hidden Agendas for me is not, it's the worst, obviously. The other 4 for me are totally fine. I like them pretty well, the way they are nowadays, but Hidden Agenda for me, I dislike it. I feel secondary objective are not so balanced. Basically there are some difference between the armies, so it can be easy or hard or normal, and I don't like it at all. I just heard that in the Spanish community in the last couple of tournaments they made like a tournament pack where they said we don't play Hidden Agenda, which I think is a good solution, to be honest. I don't like it at all, and I think it doesn't make a lot of sense to play it in a competitive level at the moment. Maybe secondary will get more balance, but still I'm not a big fan of it. I like the mechanic of having a primary and a secondary to play for. I think multiple objectives within the battle are quite dynamic and provide more interesting battle as in comparison to version 2.0. So just Hidden Agenda, I think we could get rid of it. But anyway, that's what we are playing here with Frontline Clash. I got as a secondary / primary, I roll the 2 dice with my Trusted Advisor. I roll 2 times the same, which gives me Unleash the Big Gun. I would have liked the ability to choose 2 different ones when you pay the Trusted Advisor, but actually it's like randomized 2 times, so you can randomize and get the same outcome 2 times. My opponent got, so Unleash the Big Gun, I need to be in those 2 pieces of terrain. We have the ruin and the field in the middle, and my opponent had to put more of his scoring in my deployment zone than my own scoring. And you see his magical setup, 3-time Hereditary, Gravecall, Blood Curse, and of Glory, and mine remains the same. Quickly about the matchup, his magical setup is very threatening for my list, especially for the Kadim family. I have good shooting answers to make his attack complicated. I feel between the rocket and the NAFTA, I have all the tools that I need in this kind of fight shop. I just need to avoid him being able to rush me to frontal, so I need a bit of time to, like usually, manage one threat after the other and give him a long way to reach me, basically. Primary, yeah, Trusted Advisor could have helped me, didn't in this case, because yeah, I think out of 5 games I rolled 3 times the same outcome on the secondary. So Trusted Advisor wasn't really worth it in this tournament for me, unfortunately, but I still feel it's very useful because, like I said, secondary are not so, some of them not so easy to do. For example, ID, Enslave and Ransom. I mean, I never achieved it yet. I think it's really, really hard to achieve for some armies. Helmo forces to carefully observe his option. Obviously, it's a key factor in the matchup. I rated it in our matrix as slightly positive. I think it's debatable in the sense of he could potentially play out of my range and try to avoid me due to hidden agenda and basically get something close to a 10, which I will have trouble to influence in a way to win it slightly. So I think, yeah, it's like I feel good about the matchup, but he can also limit me to something close to a draw if he feels that's what he's supposed to do. So let's move on to the deployment. Basically, Dimitri won the roll for side and he gave me the choice of which side I want to get in. So basically he wanted to be the attacker and I'm going to be the defender with the vanguard that I made on the far left with the Academy Incarnate. I picked the bottom part due to my secondary objective because I could pick the field and the Rin, which I felt comfortable about because I couldn't pick the water, couldn't pick the wall, so definitely those two were my best choices, so I picked the bottom part. And then Dimitri dropped everything for first turn. This is after his turn 1, but you can figure out the starting position due to this corner. So we have Cavalry on the left, Barbarian in the middle, Helmo, Exalted Herald, the 2 little Cav, Chosen, and the Exalted started somewhere on the far right. My counter deployment, I went with a heavy left. Like I said, in the matchup I need to put some distance between him and me to make complicated for him to try to attack me, and then I can get some board control and push towards my secondary objectives. Also worth mentioning, he started here very smartly with his first gate far on the left, basically telling me if you try to play on the right, then the left will be hard to score because I can pop Chosen Unit or Exalted Herald at any point and kill the scoring unit that you would put here. So basically I need to be somehow compact on the left. So I went with Incarnate, Enforcer, Citadel Guard without gunnery. I placed the 2 gunnery in the middle to tell him if you go near me with the Exalted Herald I will hurt you. Here I have my 2 Naftatrer on the hill trying to threaten the Barbarian and Lamassu in the back, and on the far right I place the Titan to make basically cowboy policeman to stop him from reaching me. To be honest, I think I could have put in a bit more to the left. I think it wasn't necessary to put him so much on the right, but I wanted to zone him effectively. But I think since the new mechanic of lateral movement, yeah, it's kind of hard for the Titan to move towards the left. It's only 3.5. Still something I like better, the movement phase nowadays. That's the only thing that still bothers me, is the fact that I only have 3.5 lateral movement with a single model like Titan in comparison to a normal unit like Incarnate that can do 3 on the side, an R6 model. For me, if you think about the concept of it, it makes more sense that single model is able to move a bit more. It's like has more maneuverability, more ability to move sideways than a whole unit. But the rest is better. And yeah, I allow myself to make some comment about the version 3.0 mechanics during the battle report, because it might first of all interest you. You might share my opinion and have different opinions, so it might open topics for conversation in the comment section, which is always interesting. And it's also for me a way to give potential input in case people from the staff hear my battle report and might think, oh, we didn't notice that, we didn't catch it. This is a good example of it. Thank you for the example. I hope they take it that way. It's not for me to criticize in a way like 3.0 is not good and so on. It's more for me to give constructive inputs about what I still find problematic. But we are improving, and I feel version 3.0 is coming better with every hotfix coming out. So definitely thank you to the staff for the amazing job, and I hope you don't take those constructive comments negatively, because it's not intended. It's really to give positive, just feedback, being positive or negative, but things that can still be improved. Anyway, so that's our deployment. He's turn 1, you see how he does. So he moves forward, put the Exalted to do some magic. Luckily for me, the 2 icons are too far away. Yeah, that was also one of the reasons why I deploy so much to the right. I didn't want to be in range of those hereditary. I think they have range 18. So I didn't want to get triple H on turn 1, basically. I think Triple H is like a WWE character, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, he pushed a bit forward, nothing crazy. You see his game plan. I mean, the cavalry turning around, they are trying to go all that way in my DZ, while he's like pushing slowly here and trying to get rid of the Titan, and that's going to be his main game plan. In Magic, he plays another token here, which is also a very good spot, and basically didn't care too much about my rocket battery, because he still has in this version resistance 7 with a ward save, so it's kind of long to kill a Helmo. So he thought he might be able to tank a couple of shots, and he does basically just a wall to the Exalted Herald and didn't look at me at all. He can avoid, can be in the flank because I'm too far away. Magic phase, he get Hereditary on my Titan, reroll 2 wound, managed to do 3 wounds. My turn 1, I push forward, I get 1 gunnery team in range of this nasty Helmo. I push left flank, place those guys on the token, and here I turn around those guys to basically zone this token, make sure he cannot ambush or he will get shot. I wasn't too nervous about that token, because I felt if he pops like the Barbarian unit, I get double NAFTA plus pistol plus rocket, and then he charge me potentially through a piece of train, so not so enjoyable for him. I wasn't sure he would be able to take all that shot from me and get into combat in a good way. So I wasn't too nervous about that. I start to move the Kadim sideways, but like I said, it's kind of slow. Magic phase, I dispel Flaming Sword, I get +1 to hit on the rocket battery, meaning I will hit the elbow on 2 up, wound him on 5 up, and then it's multi-wound 2 with his 5 up ward save. I also get a Hereditary on the cavalry here in the back, just in case you want to face my Incarnate. Seems better for me. Rocket battery shot the Elmo, 2 up, 5 up ward. I do nothing. I think he make 1 ward save, so nothing this turn for me. His turn 2. He continue to not respect me with the Elmo, move a bit forward to get these guys in closer range basically. Those guys, they look at me but still out, I think, of the NAFTA at the moment. Moves away with the cavalry, push those cavalry here. And here I still respect my Titan. So my Titan is still doing a good job at zoning 3 important units while I can push on the left, which is not bad at all. Magic phase, he get Grave Call, 1 wound on my Titan, and he miscast and does a wound to his Exalted Herald. But still, the miscast is not too much of a trouble. He was able to cast a lot of dice because, I mean, it was like 8 hits, strength 3, AP 2, so it's like 8 on a 6. 6 up, 4 up. I mean, not so likely that he does a lot of wounds to himself. So 1 wound to him was already something taken. And I think in process of the spell, he also did a wound with Occultism on a 6 up on his Elmo. So that's something. My turn 2. I push forward. My rocket battery is here in line of sight. It's kind of hard to see because the picture, I take always the picture with like the bright angle, so it's, you see it's more like a square shape than a rectangle shape, the table. It's because it's like a bit more compact, so sometimes it's kind of hard to see the detail. And here, just mentioning front arc, I have 2 rocket battery in range of the Helmo. We will see how that goes. Titan continue to move. I'm still zoning this point and still have a unit, this time the Citadel, on the token, and here I continue to push. Still covering in case he turn around and push here. I push forward my 2 NAFTA to get in range of the Barbarian. In the Magic phase, I fail Hereditary, he dispel +1 to hit, so I get nothing. And then I shoot with rocket battery on the Helmo. I will show you the stat because I think it's quite interesting. So 1 rocket battery normal with no Flaming Sword, no +1 to hit, should do between 0 and 2 wounds basically. Still 10% chance of doing 4 wounds and 1% chance 6 wounds. 2 rocket battery together, it's what I have this turn. Still 10% chance of killing the Helmo. So quite good actually. And then if you put together with the last round of rocket battery, without taking into account that I had +1 to hit on the last round, now it's more and more likely that with all the shooting that I put in the Helmo, I kill it actually. It's like you can see 26% chance, so if you add the +1 to hit, maybe it moves a bit up towards like 28%. Not bad at all. I mean, still a good chance to kill the Helmo, and that's exactly what I did. I was a bit lucky because the first rocket kills it, but still I had no target for the second rocket, so it didn't matter at all. But as you see, not as unlikely as we could think to kill the Helmo with 12 shots of rocket battery actually. So 12 hits of rocket battery. So yeah, surprising a bit for my opponent, and obviously this changed his plan because now he cannot teleport anymore, and I was able to take a good amount of points. He's turn 3, now he moves in a way, try to avoid me and go into my DZ while still killing the Titan. It's still his plan. In the magic phase, he gets hereditary, did 1 wound to my Titan, I dispel Gravecall. On my turn 3, I push a bit forward, push back with the Titan, it's always the same. In the magic phase, I get Flaming Sword, the Nafta managed to do 8 wounds on the Barbarian, and the Rocket Battery another 3, so I kill like 1/4 of the Barbarian more or less, which is not bad. He's turn 4, yeah, it's like zoning me, so pushing forward the cav to zone me to make sure that if I go into the train, he could potentially sacrifice the cavalry to kill the Rocket Battery, and then I don't have a shooting weapon anymore, which would need me to push here to get into the train, which is still doable, but that could be a future plan for him in case I'm too far away from the train basically. The rest, yeah, move a bit in the back. He plays his Exalted Herald in front of the Titan, basically telling me you have 2 wounds left, you will die no matter what, you cannot charge me, which is accurate. In a magic phase, Dispel Gravecall, Hereditary, I managed to do 3 save on my Titan, it cast the Hereditary, so 3 save was a bit lucky. I'm still alive with the Titan, meaning he will need to charge me next turn, so that was a welcome bonus, but maybe I can kill him before. I turn around with the rocket to shoot one at the cavalry and the other one at his Exalted Herald. Basically, it's 4 shots, he had all targets, so 5 up, 3 up, multi-wound 2. Maybe I get lucky, we will see. Magic phase, +1 to it was Dispel, Flaming Sword fail, Nafta Thrower kill 4 Barbarian, I had only 1 in range. Rocket Battery did nothing to the cavalry and nothing to the Exalted Herald. This time he's turn 5, he charged my Kadim Titan, he's going to kill it in close combat, no problem. He gets -1 strength on the Titan, I let that go, and then I dispel the ward save to shoot him next turn. Close combat, he kills me. My turn 5, I move into the train, out of line of sight of the cavalry. So that was nice for me to be in the secondary, and he's too far here for the charge. So that's perfect, I'm securing my secondary, and obviously yeah, he gets a lot of scoring in my DZ, so I cannot avoid him making the secondary, and I will do my secondary as well. Yeah, nothing will matter much. I will shoot again at his Exalted Herald, I will do nothing. And that's about it. And then his last turn, he just move out of the way. I can get a couple of shots, but no points that I can take with what's left for me. And that's the end of the game, which ends up being a 10-10. We both make it an agenda, and we had close points, so that's the end of the game. What can we say about the game? Yeah, he put in place potential aggression. Definitely the Helmo dying changed the rhythm of the game and his options. He told me that he was thinking about putting the Barbarian down. I'm not sure he could do it, to be honest. He already lost 11 wounds to the Barbarian before that. So if he pops bottom, that's 2 Nafta on the 2 up. That can do a good amount of wounds, plus a good amount of pistol and a rocket. And then charge and fight. I'm not sure that's going to be enough. Would have been interesting, definitely. The Titan survives a lot of damage to protect my flank. Yeah, I knew that was kind of a sacrifice to put the Titan down here, but this won me a lot of time and yeah, avoid his ability to rush me in the flank. So I was happy to sacrifice the Titan to win me time, and that's what he did. Huge job from the rocket to stop his potential teleportation. Yeah, definitely. You saw like 1 chance out of 4 to kill, and I did it, so amazing job for the rocket, definitely. Was a bit lucky for me, and I could have used just something to keep in mind. It didn't change anything here because he had so many scoring into my deployment zone that it wouldn't have mattered. I had only 4 scoring, and one of them had to be in the middle of the board. But still, the Nafta, I could have used it, for example, for the field, to put the Nafta on the train and then push with the Citadel. That could have been an option. I didn't think about it at all, but it's a shooting unit, so that could have been an option to use the Nafta to score, unleash the big gun. Round 2 result didn't went well, score 10-10, but my teammate all lost their game. We had a heavy loss from Lichmeister, Gaspacho. Shizu against Aurel was really close fight. I think we misjudged slightly our estimation. Like I said, mine is maybe more yellow. The one of Shizu, it's mirror match, it's probably also more in yellow. And then I think Gaspacho, he forgot that the Skaven Cannon get a +1 to hit against a hard target. So basically his 2 Shrieking Horror were in huge trouble, and then it was just too many rats to attack his unit in close combat, and he just lost heavily the game. So I think, yeah, we kind of misjudged slightly some of the pairing, and we didn't get a very good pairing, and then they did a better job than us at the table, so congrats to them. As a bonus for you, I have already game number 3 in this video. The reason is we didn't play the game. You can see how it went. We played Spoiler 4 against TRC. Juggernaut is a part of Team France that achieved the 3rd spot at ETC last year. Very good player, I know him really well. And basically we had a matchup against his demon list, which is a very strong one. I face it in the practice game, and I didn't like that much the matchup. I rated it as negative. I felt it's kind of dangerous, but since we're playing Spoiler 4, I can play it quite defensively, and so did he. So he deployed far away from me, I deployed far away from him, and basically nothing was going to happen. The only thing that could have mattered was the secondary, and in that case Louis had a small advantage over me because he had the Master of the Veil, something like he didn't need my Lamassu to be within 12 of the middle, and since at some point he dropped for first turn, he's going to be able to avoid that, because he's going to, if I put within 12, then he can make sure that he charges and kills me. So there is no way I'm going to win that one, and mine was to kill the Helmo, not the Helmo, sorry, the Mofakan, and basically can make sure that he's out of range. So we conclude a handshake on 9 to 11 because he wins secondary. And I was, to be honest, quite happy to reduce the variance of the matchup on that score, because I felt it's a dangerous matchup for me, and we rated it negative, so we felt, okay, to secure a 9-11 on that one is totally fine. I'm not a fan of handshake, but here I think that's what makes more sense, and this also reduced for me the variation around. He has a good setup of magic missile, so he could also be lucky and kill some unit and get even a bigger win. So I felt overall it's not bad to conclude a 9-11 on this one. And the round didn't go as we planned. Yeah, like I said, my match was negative. We then got to equal matchup and a slightly positive. And on the slightly positive, basically, we made a mistake of a rule, which was Lichmeister got, I will tell you because it could be interesting for you, something that we learned after the game. But basically, got charge on a long charge on the 6 in the flank by 15 deep watch onto the Longhorn unit with character, which is bodyguard, stubborn, and so on. And they thought that he loses bodyguard and stubborn and everything, but actually stubborn stays, meaning it's not bodyguard, so it's not 9 rollable, but it's going to be dividing the final result by half. And in that case, Lichmeister rolled a double 1, which would have been enough to stick, but they thought that it was auto break and it was run down and it was 20-0, which actually would have been a different game. So yeah, it was a bit sad to notice that only the day after, because it's obviously a huge change, but we got heavily capped, as you can see, 3-3-0, 9, yeah, definitely TRC did a better run than us, and they won it, so it was kind of harsh for us to be capped on the second, play against TRC, which are one of the favorites. I think they won it, or they went second last time, so they are really a strong team, definitely, and yeah, 4 ETC players from Team France, basically. And we end up being capped a second time, so it was a difficult Saturday for us. We were quite low on the table, which is not something we are used to, but we needed to regroup. It was good to have a break on Saturday night and get some good motivation to reach higher table on Sunday. That's it, guys, for this video. I hope you like the bigger one and the small battle report, and talk to you soon for game number 4. Goodbye.